Are you looking to move to the Seattle area but trying not to break the bank on a brand new home? Well, in today's video, I'm going to go over 4 areas where you can find new construction homes priced under $1 million and in many cases under $800,000. If you're familiar with this area, done some exploring, or watched my videos in the past, you've probably come to find out that it's relatively difficult to find new construction homes in the Seattle Metropolitan area priced under $1 million. The area has grown so much over the last decade with the influx of tech jobs and high-paying salaries that those home prices have really skyrocketed. But I've got 4 areas that I want to go over with you today. Areas that my specific clients that reach out to me here from YouTube, when they have this criteria, somebody looking for a new build, new construction home priced under $1 million. I've got 4 areas that most of my clients tend to end up in. So if that sounds like you, hopefully this video will help point you in the right direction. Now, when I talk about new build homes, I'm talking about detached single-family homes. I'm not talking about townhomes or condos. Now, of course, you can find a lot of townhomes and condos, new builds closer to Seattle and Bellevue that are ultra commutable to those jobs that are priced under $1 million. But when it comes to single-family detached homes, you have to go quite a bit further out to get something that's brand new and under $1 million. So the 4 areas here on my list are not the most commutable locations. That's just the nature of being in this price point and wanting new construction, but they could be doable for somebody commuting into the office a couple of days a week, or for those that work remote or further on the north side or the south side closer to these neighborhoods. I'll go over that individually on each location. But let's start with the first spot up north. Let's go to Lake Stevens. So Lake Stevens is located 35 miles north of Seattle. It's a great little community here, and of the 4 on this list, this is number 1 or 2 where I have personal clients ending up that are looking again for a new build under $1 million. Now, Lake Stevens is a great little community. Like I mentioned, it's a very tight-knit community with a lot of events going on through the year. You've got the lake right in the middle of it, so people love that aspect of being here in Lake Stevens is the access to going boating, going swimming, launching a kayak or a paddleboard, taking your kids to the park. There's 3 different public parks here with public swimming areas, so this is a really great community for some of that outdoor summertime recreation. People often also come up here for the school district, feeling that the schools are better rated than some in the surrounding cities. Now, when it comes to those new construction homes, the median home prices for new builds right now is $825,000. Now, you're gonna have a handful of different neighborhoods here. A couple of them will be priced over $1 million, but for the ones that are priced $1 million or under, you're really gonna be looking at KB Homes. They have 2 communities, Millbridge and Stillwater. Now, here with KB Homes, you can find homes as low as $700,000 all the way up to $1 million. Now, the thing with KB Homes that most builders don't do anymore is they do have options and design studios. So if you buy in early enough in the pre-sale stage, you can pick out your floor plan and you can go to the design studio and pick out all of your finishes. So those prices, those end purchase prices, are going to depend quite a bit on how much options that buyer selects at the home studio. But they also offer some more spec build homes where those homes have already been constructed and completed. The builder chose the finishes and they're move-in ready homes. So you're going to have options across the board, again on the low end closer to $700,000 and all the way up to $1 million. Now, these are smaller, tighter knit communities. They're not sprawling master plan communities, which we don't have very many of here in the Seattle metropolitan area. Now, I mentioned there's a couple other communities. If you want to be up north here and your budget extends just beyond $1 million, you have spots like Overlook Ridge, which is a main view community where those prices are going to start closer to $1.1 million. You also have Kokanee Estates, which is a Richmond American community. These are new build homes on acre lots. They have 4 different floor plans. 2 of them are Rambler or ranch style homes. Again, those prices are going to start right around $1.1 million and up from there. So if your budget does extend a little bit further, you'll have a few more options. But if you're under the $1 million price point currently when I'm filming this video, you're going to be focusing more on the KB homes. All right, let's go to location number 2, and this is Marysville. So Marysville is located about 40 miles north of Seattle. It's actually the neighbor to Lake Stevens. So this general area between Lake Stevens and Marysville is where you're going to find a lot of new construction. Now, here in Marysville, they have what's called the Soper Hill area. Now, Soper Hill is the very southeast side of Marysville. This is right next to Lake Stevens, and it's actually still in the Lake Stevens School District. So people like buying here in this location. It's a Marysville address, but they can still take advantage of being being in what they view as the better school district there in Lake Stevens. Now, here in the Marysville Soper Hill area, you're gonna have a few different communities right now. The median home price for new construction homes here in Marysville currently is $792,000. Now, Marysville may not have all of the lake access that Lake Stevens has, but like I said, you are very, very close, within 10 to 15 minutes to get to that lake still. So you can still take advantage of the amenities in Lake Stevens while being in Marysville, and those home prices, because they have a Marysville address, will drop a little bit. Marysville is just quintessential suburbia, homes everywhere, and has really exploded over the last 5 to 10 years with the new construction and so many people going north looking for more affordable home prices. I wouldn't say there's a ton to do here in Marysville, but you have cities close by like Everett and Lake Stevens that will have more recreation opportunities. Also here in Marysville, you have the Outlet Mall, which is a big attraction for people, even those way down south. And you also have the Puellup Casino, which is another, of course, large attraction. Now, I mentioned there's a few communities here in the Soper Hill area. Let's continue on the trend with KB Homes. They have 2 communities right now. One is Magnolia Crest and one is West Magnolia. They are very close to each other right here again in the Soper Hill area, and those home prices are going to be relatively similar to what you found in Lake Stevens, starting in the low 700s all the way up to 900 plus. Again, you're going to have a number of different floor plans you can choose from, and you're going to have the option to go into the home design studio to pick out all of your finishes if you want to do a pre-sale. And of course, if you want to do a move-in ready home, they have options for that as well. The third community here in Soper Hill is the Essence Collection by Mainview. Now, Mainview Homes has a community here right next to KB. They have 2 different lines of products. They have their main line of products, which are going to be closer to $1 million plus. They also have their more affordable line, which is the Essence by Mainview. Now, these homes are smaller floor plans, and they went a little cheaper on some of the finishes throughout the home. Though they're still nice quality homes, they're going to give you a more affordable entry price point to still be here in this area and still have a Mainview product. Now, this is the Redstone community, and those home prices are going to range anywhere from about $750,000 up to about $900,000. So often people will come up to this Soper Hill area, check out the few different communities, and decide which one fits best for what they're looking for. All right, let's go to community number 3, and let's head in the complete opposite direction, way down south. Let's go to Bonnie Lake. Bonnie Lake is located 38 miles south of Seattle, and I mentioned that of these 4, there's really 2 locations where I have most of my buyers ending up that are looking for new builds in this price point. Lake Stevens and Bonnie Lake are those 2. So talking about Bonnie Lake here, it's certainly a smaller area, not a ton of amenities, though you do have all of your shopping and whatnot nearby that you're gonna need on a weekly basis. But Bonnie Lake has really blown up for one reason and one reason only, and that is a huge, sprawling master plan community called Tahale. Now, I mentioned earlier that here in the Seattle metropolitan area, we do not have very many true master plan communities. If you're in places like Texas and Florida, you're gonna see these all over the place where you have thousands of homes and amenities within the community. That's really not the case over here. Most of our communities are much smaller and don't really have many amenities other than maybe a couple parks. But here in Tahale, they are building out a true master plan community. Now, the median home price for new builds in Bonnie Lake is $750,000 right now. Now, the great thing about being here in Tahale is the number of options that you're gonna have all in one community. This is the most supply of new construction homes that you will find in one location without question. You have multiple different builders here, including Brookstone, D.R. Horton, Holt Homes, Shea Homes, which is a 55 plus community, Richmond American, and Mainview. These are going to be your main options again at the time I'm filming this video. Now, Tahale still has a ways to go, and there'll be a lot more new construction in the years to come, but so many people love coming down here to Tahale because of all the options that they're going to have. Those home prices are going to start in the mid to high 600,000s and up towards $1 million plus. So you'll see you'll have a number of options in the $700,000, $800,000, $900,000 range here in their newest phase called Glacier Point. Now, once Tahale is completely built out and finished, it's going to be a 4,700 acre mixed use community that's including 1,800 acres of parks and trails and outdoor access, as well as nearly 10,000 homes. You'll also have a number of retail built into the community, as well as multiple different elementary and middle schools here right in Tahale when it's done. So of course, people are attracted here just because of the true nature of a master plan community and the access of things you have right in the community and the access of the number of types of homes that you can buy. You can start in a smaller home home, and in a few years, maybe you have a couple of kids and want to upgrade to something bigger, you can stay right in your same community, potentially right on your same street, and be able to upgrade and progress through the size of home in the season of life that you're in. All right, the last location I'm going to talk about here is Puellup, which is located about 35 miles south of Seattle. Now, Puellup is next to Bonnie Lake. It's a neighbor. Now, I've often found that people prefer to go to Bonnie Lake. They prefer to be a little bit further east than directly south of Seattle. But there are a number of good new construction home options here in Puellup, and this will be your most affordable price point. Median prices for new build homes here in Puellup currently is $730,000. Now, Puellup is a bit older than Bonnie Lake. It has a more historic little downtown area that's a bit walkable. Puellup is also home to the Washington State Fair, so you'll see a lot of tourism that time of year when the fair comes to town. Now, Puellup isn't going to have a massive sprawling master plan community like Bonnie Lake will, but you'll have a number of individual communities spread throughout the Puellup area. You can find builders like Century Communities, KB Homes, JK Monarch, Achigio, Oak Ridge, Richmond American, and Lennar. So again, you can find some homes starting in the mid to upper 600,000s and all the way up to the 800,000-900,000 range. Now, outside of just Puellup, you're going to find some smaller new construction communities on this south side region spread in some other cities like Kent and Auburn and Covington. Now, I'd say these areas are all relatively similar. There's not a huge distinguishing feature for any of them, and I found, again, of the major locations where you can find new build homes under $1 million, the first 3 locations on my list are where the majority of my clients end up going. That's Lake Stevens, Marysville, and Bonnie Lake. But again, if those locations don't really fit for what you're looking for and you want to look elsewhere, Puellup, Kent, Covington, or Auburn could have some options for you as well. Now, one thing to know about all of these locations is it becomes relatively difficult to commute into Seattle or Bellevue for work on a daily basis. So this is often something for those people that maybe have a job that they have to be in office 5 days a week in Seattle or Bellevue, and they really want new construction. They really have to decide if they want to go this far north or south and have a pretty difficult commute on a daily basis, or if they want to get a little bit closer to Seattle and Bellevue and look more for some resale homes, or maybe be right in Seattle or Bellevue, or decide to shift their focus on a townhome or a condo that's a new build. Those are really the 3 avenues that people may have to decide between if you're somebody that wants a home in this price point but need to commute to Seattle or Bellevue 5 days a week. If you're a hybrid worker and maybe you go into office 2 days a week, I have a number of people that will live specifically in the Lake Stevens area, and they'll go into Seattle or Bellevue a couple of times a week. But these locations really are going to work best for people that either work remote or work farther on the north side or the south side to where these neighborhoods are. So just make sure you keep that in mind. If you're somebody that's moving over here looking for a new build home and want to be under $1 million, you really need to factor in the distance you're going to have to go from Seattle and Bellevue in order to make that happen. Again, unless you're open to finding a townhouse, in which there will be certainly some more options closer to those Seattle and Bellevue areas. Well, as always, I love it when you guys reach out to me here after watching the videos. If you're somebody that's making a move over to the Seattle area and you need help figuring out where the best place for you to move is and finding that right home for you to purchase, feel free to reach out to me at my info linked below. I'd be more than happy to jump on a call with you, talk about your goals, and figure out where the best place might be for you to end up. Feel free to reach out to me. Look forward to hearing from you. Thanks for watching this one. I'll see you on the next.